This should probably be filled with vodka for this video. Alright, so today I am putting things on my face, including the brand new, most controversial palette of 2017, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture eyeshadow palette. So I'm doing like a full face get ready with me thing, trying out this palette and a few other new things that are new to me and just some other stuff. I'm putting this up as like a bonus video this week for you guys because I know a bunch of you have been asking my thoughts on this. Purchased this with my own money. I'm not on ABH's PR list. Modern Renaissance palette is one of my hands down favorite eyeshadow palettes. Besides this product, I do not like a whole lot of things I've tried from ABH so far. Guys, this room thermostat for my apartment right now says 95 degrees. Will survive. I feel like my entire Twitter feed and YouTube feed has been this palette lately, so I'm sure you guys have heard all about it, but there's been some very mixed reviews on this palette. People are getting really intense about this, like very gung-ho, either for it or against it. I feel like this is the most freaking polarizing eyeshadow palette I've ever seen. Like, coming after people and their firstborn child if they have differing opinions on this. I think we just need to take a moment to remember this is an eyeshadow palette, this is YouTube, this is makeup. The world is not gonna end based on the Subculture palette. There are tons of videos out there now with full reviews, swatches, so I'm not doing a full-on in-depth review on this because I feel like there are already so many out there. If you want a really good breakdown on this palette and the ingredients and everything, someone who I really highly trust and value her opinion on products is Stephanie Nicole. I'm gonna leave her video down below, but she did like a 40-minute review on this palette. But I know you guys on Snapchat and Twitter really wanted to see what I think of it, so here we are. I actually have a couple weeks worth of videos pre-recorded right now, so you guys are going to be seeing a shadow and schmooze coming. That video is also a bunch of first impressions, so if you like this video while you're watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I almost just knocked over good old Subculture. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's do this. Hair is looking a little wild right now. So I'm going to start out with eyeshadow today. I'm using my MAC Painterly Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. More recently, I've been using the Makeup Forever Aqua XL to prime in M52. It's just like a matte tan color, but since I've been using this for literal years, I figured probably the best primer to try out a new eyeshadow palette with because I've been using it for so long. I know how it performs with eyeshadows and everything. I don't want to clip back my hair right now because I'll get a major kink in it. So I'm going to tape off my eyes today. I've been liking doing this lately just so I can get a really clean line. It kind of just makes everything way easier. That was a long friggin' piece of tape. So I have not put this on my eyes yet. This is like first impression. I have swatched them, kind of played around with them a little bit just with my fingers and different primers and stuff on my arm. So I'm gonna start out with the shade Dawn, which is this matte light tan kind of color right here. That just kicked up quite a bit. Personally, I don't mind the kickback in the Anastasia. Oh, should I have done my brows? I always do this when I do my face makeup after. That shade seems to be blending out nicely. There's a lot of fallout. Modern Renaissance palette is one of my favorite palettes of all time. That one does have a lot of fallout too, but there's not like a powder shower happening with that one. On my skin tone, this is a pretty transition shade. It's actually like the perfect tone. I want to use the shade Edge, which is this like mustard yellow color, kind of matches my shirt, all over my lid. That one doesn't seem to have quite as much fallout as Dawn. I usually like to use my finger to put on lid shades, but I'm just going to place it with this. This has good pigment to it, damn. I'm going to place it with this and then maybe add some more with my finger if I need to. Super pigmented. It's almost turning like a green color on the outer part. Okay, let's do the other eye. To get this much color payoff with a brush is, for me, like insane. Usually I have to use my finger to get that much. So this is super pigmented. It's doing something weird when it gets into my crease. It looks a little bit like a different color. Like it looks like I just blended a different color in there. I've been really liking this brush from the BH Cosmetics set that I tried. Actually, I think you guys will be seeing this video first. I have a shadow and schmooze coming out if it's not already out. And I tried out this brush set from BH Cosmetics, and this little tiny blending brush is great. It's good for getting like precise right into the crease. So I'm going to take New Wave, which is like the darker orange shade, and blend that into the crease. This brush is mostly good for just like placing the product. I still need to go in and blend afterwards with a full-on blending brush. New Wave and Edge seem to be totally fine. Dawn just has a crazy amount of fallout so far. But I'm gonna go back in and blend the edges out. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with New Wave since that got a little bit lost. I want to deepen this up with Fudge, which is this brown. This is a repeat shade. They have this in a different palette by Anastasia. Apparently they're kind of two different colors and blend out differently, but I'm going to give it a go. Ooh, do I want to do Fudge or Rowdy? Rowdy looks kind of cool. Rowdy's like a deep purple. I think first I'm going to do Fudge. There's like a ton coming off of here. Okay. I'm going to blend that out. This one doesn't seem to be sticking to where I want it. Like it's not really staying right there. This shade I don't like. This one's a bit patchy. I'm gonna try kind of packing it on with this brush instead and see if that helps. Yeah, not a fan of that shade. Still looks pretty patchy. The other shades I think we're blending fine. This brown shade I can't get to totally blend how I want it. Just kind of keeps getting patchy. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with Edge, which is the first mustard shade. Just make it pop again. Edge is really pretty. I like this shade. So I think when I do the lower lash line after foundation, I want to try out the shade All Star, which is this like burgundy kind of shade. But for now, I think that's everything I want to do on my lid. I actually want to try out this glitter liner. Oh wait, this is blue. I thought this was black. Oh, this is straight up blue. Save it for another day. For liner, I'm going to try out this Butter London Glazin Lustrous Liner. This is in the shade Flare. Looks like it's a brown liner. I don't know if this is metallic or not. I'm going to keep the tape on for this because it just gives you a line. You don't really have to think about it. So it is like a metallic brown shade. The great thing about tape is that you pretty much like don't have to think. That did the job. Doesn't look super metallic. It's just kind of like a sheen. I actually might add a little bit. Ooh, let's do this. This is the Catrice Liquid Metal Cream Shadow. This kind of is like a more cool toned brown. What is this one? I'd actually add a tiny bit of this just over top of that. This might actually be purple. That looks purple. Let's try the other one. This one is in the shade Brown Under, so guessing this is brown. See how it goes. A little bit light. Kind of like that. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. Kind of like makes your eyes pop a little bit. When I do my eye makeup first, I like doing my brows after my foundation. So I'm going to go in with foundation next. So let's peel this off. Camera just stopped recording and I almost missed the most satisfying part of the entire video. Where's an edge? Give me an edge. Here we go. Look at that line. All right, so to prime, I'm going to use the Catrice Prime and Fine Anti-Shine Blur Stick. I remember using this a while ago, I think. Yeah, it looks like I used it, and I think it actually kind of like filled in my pores, I remember. See what I think of it now. Oh, guess I'm putting this on my T-zone. I feel like that actually kind of just like blurred out my pores a tiny bit. For foundation, I think I'm going to mix the Clinique Beyond Perfecting with Josie Maran Argan. Actually, this shade might be good for me right now. This one does oxidize. The Clinique, this is in the shade 0.5 Breeze, so it'll probably be too dark in a few minutes, but let me see. That looks perfect right now, but it will oxidize, so I'm just going to add in a tiny little dot of Josie Maran. Look at that coverage. It's already starting to oxidize. I got my eyebrows waxed, and I started breaking out like all along here, especially on this side. Is that a thing? Is that just a weird coincidence? I have full reviews on both of these foundations. If you ever want to know if I've reviewed a foundation or any product, all you have to do is search it, the Tayla plus the name of the product. Of course, I have a zit right where the edge of this is blended. Looking light right now, but like I said, it'll oxidize, and I'm going to be using a powder that also oxidizes. So for concealer, super curious to try this out. This is the new Lancome Tint Idol Ultra in the shade 110 Ivory. I think this is new. Whoa, that looks dark. I hope that's just the outside. It should be the lightest shade. Whoa. All right, let's try it. I might have to mix this in with another concealer if this is too dark once it's on my... No, this can't be. 110 Ivory is 01 Beige. If this is the lightest shade, this is an actual joke. It's not even showing up as much on the viewfinder, but this is like orange. Okay, well, definitely gonna have to mix this in with something. Feels nice and creamy. I'm gonna mix this in with NARS Chantilly. I mean, that combo looks good. This feels really nice and creamy. I just wish I could use it in the right shade. This is the Maybelline Fit Me 05, but I used it the other day to set my under eyes and it set it really nicely, so I think I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna use this to set the center of my face as well. All right, so to set the rest of my face, this is kind of a spoiler alert because you guys will be seeing this review coming soon, but this is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Powder Foundation and Concealer. This is a powder foundation, but it's the first time I'm using this as a setting powder kind of to set my liquid foundation rather than just on its own. So we'll see how this goes. And actually switch brushes to my normal. There we go. Not loving this as a setting powder. Just made my forehead look super heavy, like caked up right there. As a setting powder, this is a no. Alright, so I just did my brows. For bronzer, I actually want to try out using the new MAC Next to Nothing. This is a face powder, but it's in the shade Dark Deep, and it looks like it might work. Hopefully it won't be too warm as a bronzer, but I don't know, the tone looks pretty nice, so we'll see. I have been in love with this Flower Beauty brush. It's so soft, has like the perfect amount of flimsiness to it. Ooh, that's pretty warm. That looks like MAC Gimme Sun almost. That actually looks nice. Now that it's blended out, it looks a little bit less orangey and kind of just more like a red tone, which I like. Dude, my forehead with that powder, not looking great. Okay, I'm actually really liking that as a bronzer. For blush, I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Confidence in Your Glow blush. This is in the shade Instant Nude Glow. This is kind of like an ombre thing. I think I might have used this once a while ago, but I can't remember what I thought of it. It doesn't look like I've used this shade at all. I'm going to go in with that middle shade for blush. It's almost blending out like a little bit patchy and chalky. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl. This was by Casey Holmes, her collaboration with them. I'm going to use this shade right here. I want kind of like a champagne highlight right now. Ooh, it's pretty. Whoa, that middle shade is super pretty. Looks a lot darker in the pan than when it's actually on my face. Okay, now that the face is done, let's finish up the eyes going back into the Subculture palette. So like I said, I want to try out the shade All Star. I think first I'm going to use a little liner brush to just kind of line the lower lash line. This one, at least with this brush, I'm not getting a lot of fallout. Okay, now I'm going to go in and blend that out with just an empty brush. Probably a little bit of brown shadow left over on here. I like that shade for the lower lash line. What do I want to do for the inner corner? I think I'm going to use the same highlight shade. Yeah, light color. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit just to get more of a pop on that one. There we go. I'm going to go in with a little bit of Rowdy on the same liner brush and just add that to like the outer third down here. Alright, I'm going to pop on some lashes and I'll be right back. Alright, so my lashes are on. I use Pure Bombshell. These just always make any eye look 50,000 times better. My eyes are really red and burny right now, and they were before I put on the lashes, so I'm not sure if it's something in the palette or maybe the liquid liner that I used, but my eyes are definitely looking pretty red. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Glide On Gel Pencil in Alkaline. Might match the lower lash line really well. Oh, that's like, whoa, that's red. I think that's going to make me look like I have pink eye. Let's try the Makeup Forever Aqua XL pencil in the shade M80. This just looks like a purple, hopefully. There we go. These pencils aren't the best for the waterline. I tried a couple other shades of these and they just don't really go on. You have to do like 5,000 layers. I'm going to do my lower lashes, Wet n Wild Mega Length. I did a little bit on this side already and then realized I wanted to do waterline eyeliner. Alright, so last step for lips, I'm going to use the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick in the shade Out Loud. I want like a brick orangey kind of color, so hopefully this is that. Hell yeah. The applicator on this thing is awesome. Like, look at that line. Just makes it super easy to get a clean line. My eyes are on fire right now. More than usual. I feel like I need to take off all this eye makeup right now. Still gotta film the intro. Alright, so I just want to kind of sum up my thoughts on this thing so far. I liked Edge when I look really up close. Like I said, when I first blended it out, there is a weird green kind of outline to it. Like it almost changed colors a little bit in the crease, which is a little bit odd. You can still see it if you look really up close right here. Dawn and New Wave, the tan color, and then this orangey one, blended out totally fine. I didn't have any major issues with those shades besides New Wave kind of getting blended away when I went to blend out the other shadows. I did not like Fudge. Fudge I felt like was very difficult to work with. Keep in mind, you guys are seeing the application cut down into like 3 or 4 minutes probably, when in my time, it's now 10:30, so I've been filming for an hour and a half. I looked at the clock and I spent about 45 minutes just on the eyes. So I did feel like I had to work with these shadows a little bit more than normal to blend them out and to get them to look good. All Star and Rowdy on the lower lash line I had no issues with. Keep in mind I wasn't blending those really with other colors. I was kind of just packing it on the lower lash line. So for this look, I didn't end up actually using any of the shimmer shades, which wasn't intentional, but I did want to point out that when I was swatching these and playing around with them, the shimmer shades were what I was not into at all. So I'm going to just show you guys this. It seems like there's kind of a top layer on these. Electric, which is this like kind of light lime green color. When you swatch it, it's just kind of not impressive at all. Cube, I am like shocked that this even got put in this palette, honestly. Cube, which is this white kind of duochrome shade right here. It looks white in the pan. It's not white at all when you actually use it. It's like a pink purpley. When you actually put it on, it is like pretty much non-existent. I'm sure you guys have seen that video go around, but Roxy is the shade that a lot of people got tons of kick up from and that someone actually hit pan on, and as you can see, it is very, very powdery. Kind of my summarizing thoughts on this thing after obviously only using it today on my eyes but playing around with the other shades a little bit. I don't like the shimmer shades. I can flat out say that, not into the shimmers. The matte shades that I tried today, I would say the formula is definitely more powdery than typical. There's definitely more kick up, it's definitely more powdery than the Modern Renaissance palette. From the shades that I tried, I think it's workable. Do you want an eyeshadow palette to be workable? Probably not. If you're spending $42 on it, you probably want it to be good and easy to work with. For the average consumer, I do feel like it should probably be a little bit easier to work with. There's something a little bit off with it. There are differences in the ingredients in these two palettes. I'm not going to go full on in depth because it's going to turn into a whole review. For me personally, with the shades that I've played around with, I feel like I could make this work. Do I necessarily like it? No, I'm not in love with it. I don't really think I would spend $42 on this again. I know ABH is accepting returns on this palette. They know that a lot of people aren't pleased with it. So if you've received it and you're not pleased with it, you can return it. So I don't know. Do I think we need to start war over this palette? No. Is it my new favorite palette? Definitely not. Is it workable? Yes. Would I recommend you buying it? Probably not. There we go. That's my thoughts in one sentence. If you've tried out the Subculture palette, let me know what you think of it down below. I asked you guys on Twitter, and there's kind of just really different responses. A lot of people said they like it and they can make it work, and some people said they absolutely hate it. I hope you guys enjoyed having this video as a bonus video this week. Lots of exciting videos coming. Thumbs up for bonus videos. Hot as friggin' balls right now. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.